Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Halverson Palace series. Sorry it's been such a long time, but I'm officially done all of my exams for my most recent semester of university, and I just got my COVID vaccine, so I'm officially ready to continue this series. Last time we left off on a really big cliffhanger, finding out that Xander has powers. Here he is talking to Julian and Amara. But yes, he has powers. He has magical powers. We don't know why. We don't know where. I promise all questions of what and why and how, for as far as Xander and his powers go, will be answered this episode. So be patient for that. I hope you enjoyed the machinima that you just saw. Xander just showed the fact that he actually does have magical powers to the princes and Lord Aiden, and the first thing that they're going to do is call the queen and tell her of the news, because at the end of the day, the ultimate decision on what they're going to do is up to her. So let's have Aiden go ahead and call Queen Genevieve and see what she says. Basically, what I think would happen is the queen would be like really desperate that the girls have been in these magical comas for such a long time that she wants to get them awake as soon as possible. And Xander is the first person that has said that he might be able to actually break them out of these comas in a safe way using his powers. I think the questions as to why and how he can do so are probably put on hold because it has been 3 to 4 days since the girls have fallen into these comas, so anxiety has definitely increased, and they just want to. Oh God, Elena came. Stop! Elena's here. Why is she here? Hey, Prince Julian, are you here? Are you busy? Where is she? Why did she come? What did she want to do? She was like, hey, I just want to check in on things. Really, she wants to come here and see like Xander and everything. Oh.
Pearl.
So anyways, the queen basically is like, yes, bring him to the palace as soon as possible because we want to wake up the princesses and see what he can do. So why don't we go ahead and take Xander to the palace and see if he can wake up the princesses from these comas. So let's go on and head over there. Okay, so we are back at the Halverson Palace. We're going to get Xander to see if he can wake up the princesses. I'm sure that there's very minimal words being spoken or exchanged between him and Elena and the queen and everyone. Everybody just wants to see what he can do and see if they can actually succeed. So let's go ahead and see if he actually can wake up the princesses from these weird magical comas. Okay, so it looks like he actually was able to wake up the princesses. Some time has passed. I have put Xander in the queen's office. We're going to deal with him later and get to know his story of how he could do that and why a little bit later, but for now I think everybody is just really happy to see that the girls are awake and everything. Press on pause. I've collected them in the dining room because I was assuming that maybe the girls were hungry because they've been asleep for so long. So why don't we get Queen Jenny to call them to meal? I think very minimal words were being exchanged even after the princesses woke up, probably just saying thank you, and Queen Genevieve telling the guards or security to put Xander in her office. So I moved Martha in with the Duke and Duchess just to get some space in the household, but pretend like she's still living here. Maria said, what's up, Princess Maria? I'm avoiding my responsibilities right now. And looks like Angelica came to see Maria. Where is Maria? She's somewhere here. There she is. I guess Angelica came to see Maria. I guess the news and the word has spread that she is awake, and everybody is just getting back to normal, trying to get back to normal. The girls were in perfect health conditions when they were asleep, so it was almost like they were like frozen in time, and nothing had happened to them while they were asleep. They were just sleeping, and a lot of people are coming over. Oh, even King Noah is here with Julian. Everybody's obsessed with Julian. Everybody wants to come see Julian. I didn't know he was so popular. But I'm assuming that Elena is probably very like happy, of course, that everyone is awake, including her daughters and her nieces, especially her daughters. And I think she is saying right now, I just want to go home and I just want to get back to normal. And I just want to spend some time with my daughters and get away from all this chaos. As in, like, today has been enough chaos. It's bad enough that my baby daddy, who I haven't seen in 14 years, has come and surprised us out of the blue and has helped wake up my daughters. I just want to go home and get back to normal and deal with whatever Xander has to bring tomorrow or the next day or whenever, just not right now, which is like understandable. And I think Aiden, here he is. Oh, he's feeling sad. That's actually perfect. He's probably feeling super guilty for what he did. Well, he didn't do anything like horrible, but he did keep a secret from Elena for so many years, saying that he was in contact with Xander. So I think Aiden's like, of course, whatever you want, let's go home if you want to. He's probably just feeling bad, and also I guess he wants to just spend some time away with his daughters without the whole, you know, Xander situation. Like, just everybody just needs some time before they find out what Xander has to bring to the table after 14 years of mystery. So I'm gonna go ahead and send Aiden and Elena and Maria and Cassie back home, and then we can sit down with Xander and learn about his story and where he's been and why he was able to do what he could do. Okay, so Elena, Aiden, and their daughters have finally left and they've gone back home. Sorry if you can hear like a background rumbling noise. There's construction happening on my street and we gotta deal with it. But anyways, they have gone home to try to regroup and relax and let, you know, the anxiety of the fact that girls and the princesses were unconscious for such a long time kind of reside, and they can regroup and talk about everything that Xander is going to bring to the table, I guess tomorrow or later on. They just needed some time to relax. But unfortunately for the queen, there is never time to relax. And her daughters are obviously here. Erica and Annalise are here. I have sat them all down at this little conference table in the queen's office. And of course the princess's husbands are here, and her trusty head of security guy, Leroy, is here. So now we can finally have a discussion with Xander. And basically everybody's just going to be like, Xander, where have you been? What the hell just happened? We're not letting you leave the palace until you explain yourself, because this is completely unknown. Nobody knew about this before, and we want to know. So I have this little thing that I'm going to read out to explain Xander's almost life story. So Xander's drunk. Let's pretend like he's not. I think he just needed a sip of alcohol to calm his nerves about diving back into the past and explaining to the queen and the princesses what happened to him and why he has the powers that he does. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reading off this little thing that I wrote, describing his backstory, and yeah. Alright, so in order to tell the complete story of Xander, we have to start off with his father, Ian. So Ian always secretly wanted the throne. His noble title of being Earl was never enough, and he had a sly way of manipulating people into believing his ideology of the royal family always being in the wrong. He'd even spend nights on the outskirts of the kingdom making speeches against the monarchs. He married Amara, who was an extremely insecure bystander who didn't care what Ian did as long as he came home back to her, and he did. When Xander was about 5 years old, King Winston banned magic from the kingdom, including contact with the fairies that lived nearby. Ian saw an opportunity to magically mess with the kingdom and monarchy without anyone knowing. As he had a strong relationship with the king, there would be no way Ian would be suspected. But no one publicly known at least possessed powers in the kingdom besides the royal family, which is when Ian was told of an urban legend of the mystical coven of witches. The Mysticos are people who inherit magical powers through placing a crystal on the mystic rock near the Brightchester Lake and reciting a spell. Their power is taken, not gifted. That's the difference between the royal family and the fairies versus the mystical witches. Ian forced Xander at only 8 years old to complete the ritual and inherit powers so Xander could be used as Ian's secret weapon in his plans to overthrow the monarchy. What Ian didn't know is that you must be at least 14 years of age for the ritual to work properly. So after the ritual, when Xander's powers didn't show, Ian begged the fairies for an explanation, but that was not their duty, nor did they know of such legend. Ian was furious and became bitter and cruel. By the time Xander was 14, he started experiencing signs of his magic, but swore never to tell his parents, for he knew what power-hungry and selfish people they were. Xander was definitely encouraged by his parents to pursue a romantic relationship with Princess Elena, especially because it was a relationship the late king said he would approve of. Elena brought a lot of light into Xander's life, but Xander truly had eyes for his childhood friend Gemma, who he would see when his father went down to the docks to turn more people against the royals. A few years later, Elena got pregnant, whose story was told in Season 1, Part 13, which is linked below. But 2 weeks after Maria was born, Xander had a breakdown from all the stress he was enduring, being a young father with crazy, evil parents, and being in love with someone who isn't the mother of his child. In his moment of distress, his powers lost control, and he completely obliterated his room, alerting his parents of his powers, which was the last straw before Xander officially disappeared. So now we finally know why Xander has the powers that he does and how he was able to wake up the princesses. Obviously, there's still a lot that we don't know about the girls' comas as to, who did that to them and why they were under that spell and etc. But all will be found out in time, I promise. I also wanted to say that I will be posting a few story posts on my Instagram. I never post any story posts that aren't important to the storyline, that aren't super important. If anything, they are just story posts that go in depth and add a little bit more detail to things that I go over in these videos. Like I posted one recently between this episode and the last one, describing what Maria's friends were saying when they came to visit her in her coma. So if you want to follow me and you want to check those out, my Instagram is always in the description below. And again, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and